How's it going, guys? So today's video will be about some defenses that you can set to kind of throw off the opponent for your GACs, and more in depth here, I want to go over some of the modding and some of the turn orders you want to have going for you. And we can go, I guess, into some of the mod sets you want to be running as well. I don't want to chat too much about offense here because there's just like a lot of just straight and forward offenses. I mean, you got your mallet counter, your other counters, Night Sister, stuff like that, Geos, stuff like that, you know. But I really want to, in this video, I want to just chat more in depth on some of these things you can throw off your opponent. And not every team here has to be godlike on the speeds. More importantly, just the turn orders and some of the mods you should be running here for the set. So let's go into it, guys, and let's go chat about it. Okay, so you might look at my Darth Revan and Malik team here and think, wow, this team is garbage. How does this guy get wins with this team on defense? How does this guy do anything really on his defense with this? The reason why it's like this and why I get some somewhat good holds with it at times if the guy does not place his Malik on defense, the reason is because of how I modded them. So my mods here are not crazy, and let's just I mean, just look at my gears. I only got 2 gear 12s here. I got one on my Darth Revan and my HK, and then I got gear 11 Malik, gear 11 Marauder, only 6-star, and gear 10 Shore Trooper. The reason Shore Trooper's here is just for a pre-taunt. Nothing crazy, really. Just want to pre-taunt just in some of these different teams you might be fighting. Yeah, so Shore Trooper's not bad here. I don't have Sith Trooper, or else he would be here instead. Then I would get like the full damage from HK. And I'm kind of slowly working on Marauder, somewhat. But the big two here are, of course, Darth Revan and Malik when it comes to your mods and your turn orders. So when I'm thinking of whenever I place this team, the only two teams I'm worried about are the Padme counter and now this new Shock T counter. Everybody else can pretty much just destroy this, but then again, they're taking away a somewhat decent team. Like I've people that I've gone up against that actually use a mirror match Darth Revan just to get through this easily. But if they do that, then my back wall is going to eat them up, So it's just kind of a bait and switch almost. But here we go. My speeds here in the turn order. The biggest thing you guys want to go for in your defenses, doesn't matter how fast your Darth Revan and Malik are, the one thing that you guys should be modding them is to have your actually Malik faster than your Darth Revan. Right here, you can see that my Darth Revan is 259 with only 93 extra speed. In this case, I had to go for more speed on my other teams on defense and on my offense as well. So instead, what I did here is just gotta kind of go and max out my CC, or my CD rather, my crit damage, and then get some speed here. So he's at 259, which means down here, my Malik at gear 11 is at 260. So the reason why this kind of counters some of those Padme and those Shock Team nuke teams right now, unless you guys have seen my videos, you know how to counter this specific team here. No, this team here and why it's like 1 speed off and how Malik goes first is because, let's just chat about the Shock T nuke really fast. The Shock T nuke really only works versus average teams, where you get all the turns right on Anakin, and then you get the offense up, and you wait for the bonus turn, right? Well, in this team and how you mod them, you're going to have Malik shock and dispel the taunt off of 5s, and then right afterwards, you're going to have Darth Revan apply all the fear to everybody, and that negates all extra bonus turns and all the buffs Anakin will be getting for his big, huge hits. So this is a nice way to counteract that. There is a video I posted recently of how to, still beat this type of Malik team, and that's with R2 in it instead of Echo. But this counters like an average Shock T nuke team, and if you don't want to worry about that, well, guess what? We can worry about Padme too, because Padme has some problems here as well. There's actually 2 things that this kind of counters in the Padme team. One is that this turn order with having Malik faster than the Revan is actually nice for the same reasons as getting fear on everybody as well, and then as well as having them slower, because if they are slower, they're going to actually interfere with the other slow modded Padme teams. So it's kind of be really hard for the enemy team to use that Padme as well. So that's how I modded them. And if you want to go into the mod sets I'm running here for my Malik, this is only gear 11 Malik, so I would go for a lot more HP protection. Huge emphasis on the protection, because you can't really stack up too much HP at a low gear level. So that's why I went for more protection primaries here, and just trying to hit that 260 speed, so he's 1 speed faster than Malik, or than Darth Revan rather. So I will need to get my Malik up in stars soon, but the way I'm modding this team is great to counter those two teams I just mentioned. And outside of those two teams, this team's going to get raffle stomped by everything else pretty much that's a solid team here in the game. You know, like JKR, like another mirror match. I mean, there's a lot of different teams out there, CLS even. So that's just one nice way to go about countering those teams. And then down here, Django Nest. If you guys don't really run Django Nest and use Nest for like a solo, well, that's good and all, but at my level of play, I hardly ever see easy solo teams with my Nest. So what I do instead is just put them on defense with the Django and the Bounty Hunters. So the one thing that you guys should only be thinking about when it comes to this team in the modding is to have your Bosk slower than the Nest, Django, and Zam here. The reason being is that, let's just chat about Bosk really fast. His Predator Instincts, the AI on defense will prioritize this move first, so he's going to get a taunt up. And then that means he's going to get Frenzy right, and then after everybody uses the turns, then he gets more bonus turns. So that is nice. And then as well, from the Django lead, the contract rather is you have to damage 20 debuffed enemies, and then you get the contract, and the contract is probably the best contract for bounty hunters. They all get bounty hunters resolve, which means that you have to kill them again. So the reason you want to mod them this way is to get the contract off ASAP, so that your other 4 bounty hunters here besides Nest, like Django, Bosk, Boba Fett, and Zam, will all get that nice bounty hunters resolve to have to kill them twice. So after you modding Bosk, so let's just chat about his speed really fast. So my Bosk speed rather is 274, which is really 304 because of the 30 speed you're getting from a Scoundrel Django Fett lead. And then Django Fett, mine's only gear 11, but this will still work pretty dang well, is 276, so he's 2 speed faster than Bosk. Zam is very similar as well, 281, so she's actually the fastest here. And actually, let's go back into Zam. She's nice to have pretty fast because on her AoE, she applies the thermals, which are debuffs, and then Django can come in and do his burning and hit all those. And then right afterwards, with how I modded my Nest, she's at 277, so she will come in and hit all those again for even more debuffs hit and applied, and the daze and the removing of the TM from the kinetic or kinetite charge. There's just a lot going on here with this team, and this is really why it's so important. But if you guys really want to make sure that this team holds somewhat decent on defense, you want to mod your fast AoE debuff guys. You want to have them go first, like your Nest, like your Zam, like your Django. Excuse me. And then have Bosk come in right afterwards. So that's how you want to mod this team, and this team can really hold up very well on your defenses. So let's go on over here to the Night Sisters, and this is an easy team. I don't want to go too much into it, but pretty much with how I modded mine, you want to go for your Asajj and your Spirit to be some of the fastest guys here. So what I like personally, and then I know there's somebody out there that thinks differently, but pretty much all you got to do is, what I like to do at least, is to mod my Asajj to be a little bit faster than my Spirit. So 204 plus 75 plus the 30, that's like around 300 and something, I don't know. You can do the math really fast actually. And then back here on the Spirit, she's going to be, what is she? Actually got a new mod on here, 283. So if you do the math here, so Asajj was 204 plus 75 plus a 30. She's at 309, and then my Spirit is going to be 283 plus 30, which is 318 or 313 rather. So I just like to kind of have these guys the fastest, so it really screws up the enemies. And there's a big, huge counter out there, the Trooper team, and the Troopers really kind of struggle versus these Asajj leads. But outside of those two people, you want to mod your Talzin for a lot of offense, a lot of CC as well, because you want her big AoE to crit somebody. And then for Daka, I like defense actually on Daka right now with my Relic, and on top of that, I like just, of course, the HP and some speed. And then Zombie for some, actually like her with crit avoidance, and also with some HP. So just some nice things to talk about here with the Night Sisters. And then some of these other teams, Grievous, I'm sure you guys don't always run these exact teams like I have, but out of these other teams here, I want to chat about the Geos more in particular, because there's one person in the Geos that I think I should be modding for, one of the different mod sets out of everybody here besides the GBA, Soldier, Poggle, and Sun Fac. Spy should be modded for a lot of CC, because when you're talking about really easy banner teams that can counter the bugs, the only one that really sticks out to me is the Treya Scion one. And I've done videos of how you can counter these bugs pretty easy with the 2v5 Treya Scion, but if you guys do happen to have a Gear 13 with a Relic Spy, there is one little thing you can actually change and manipulate, so those two guys, the Treya Scion, have a really hard time fighting this. And the one thing you guys should be looking at is CC. There was a recent post here that I'm going to bring up and read to you guys. So in a recent Q&A, the one we just had, the October one, the devs went over a nice question that I've had for a little bit while for myself, because I use this Treya Scion. I really wanted to know what crit avoidance actually, does and how it interacts with other people with crit chance. So the person that asked this question gave a scenario. What if my Yoda had 150% crit chance and Treya had 70% crit chance, or crit avoidance rather? Does Yoda have 80% chance to crit? And this is what CG said. They answered saying the provided example is correct. The chance to critically hit is simply critical chance minus critical avoidance. So the highest critical avoidance you can get without getting Gear 13 on your Treya Scion will be around 75%. That's 35% from, let's go back in the game, that's 35% from the arrow you're going to be having and 40% from the Treya lead. So if you want to kind of make the RNG of, some of these Treya Scion counters to go away, you want to mod your Spy for a lot of crit chance. This is pretty hard to do though. At Gear 12, you would kind of need to bump up to Gear 13 and increase that crit chance even higher, because with the Relic, you're getting crit chance from the Mastery, and then on top of that from just Agility. What is it? It's called Agility. You're actually getting even more crit chance, so the crit chance is going to inflate immensely. So with how you would want to mod your Spy, you want to go for offense on pretty much everything possible here, and then you want to go for crit chance on the triangle, and then offense here on the arrow, offense here on the cross, and then just stack as much crit chance as possible here. Trying to shoot for above like 110, 120%. I'm pretty sure that's doable with the right mods here. That would really counter some of these Treya Scion teams out there and make it so that's just not even an issue. Like, you can't even run that at all. So just something to throw out here. Pretty much everybody else on the GBA squad and the Geos is pretty simple and standard. A lot of HP protection on pretty much everybody, some speed on everybody, and then on Soldier, I guess, similar to Spy, you want more crit chance as well and some offense. So just something to throw out there as well for you guys. I don't want to chat more. I don't want to really go in depth on the Grievous or the Car teams. Those are pretty standard teams. There's other videos chatting about that. And the last one I just want to wrap up, I've done this in a previous video of how you want to use clones defensively or offensively. For me, I don't really have much offense use out of them. And if I use them on defense, you're probably going to get sold by a Malik if the guy does happen to use his Malik. Fortunately enough, though, my first round guy does not have a Gear 13 Malik, so I'm pretty sure I can probably get these guys somewhat decent holds. But if you do happen to see a Gear 13 Malik that does save their Malik for offense, there isn't much you can do versus this team unless you want to, Gear 13 and, Relic 7 your clones. But even then, I don't think you can, hold up very well. So the clones are in a very weird spot right now. You either save them for offense and you get like, minimum banners like 55, 56 because somebody's going to die. They don't have much sustainability, not huge heals. And on the flip side, they can get soloed by a Malik. So it's kind of either way you use them, they're going to lose some banners. But guys, I just wanted to hit up on some of these teams, the Geos, the Night Sisters, Django, and the Darth Revan. So these are just some of the things I'm doing personally that are helping me force some solid counters and to kind of throw off some typical counters that you might see in a GA. So thank you guys for watching my video today. If you guys did enjoy it, give it a like down below, share it around, and sub to my channel if you guys are new here. I do a lot of different videos on this game, and I will be streaming my GAs as well. So if you guys want to go check out that, I always stream around the start of attack phase for my GAs. So if you guys do want to have your notifications turned on for that, feel free to do that. We got Discord and Patreon if you guys want to go check out those two things. That's pretty much it for me today, though, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.